sun is setting. Twilight here and some threatening clouds rolling in as well, but a beautiful night so far and just a tremendous football game. Kick off the season. Roy Finch picks his way up near the 28-yard line.
Mitchell prepares to go back to work here. We think back, which we can't help but do in this matchup, to last year's Grey Cup game. Bit of a tough first half for him in that one, a couple of interceptions thrown, but definitely bounced back in a big way in the second half to force overtime. See if he can turn in a big second half here.
Ever since he came into the league, out of college and of course out of Katy, Texas, he's done nothing but win. Barclay McDaniel hit hard, but picked up first down yardage. Antoine Pruneau, Daniel with the collision. Stamps will hurry up here. Scrimmage near the 43-yard line. Play action to Messam and spied perfectly by Pruneau. Tavares Daniels nowhere to roam.
The Ottawa defense basically kind of flattened out this entire play. The line of scrimmage, they got a good push from their front. And then in terms of the coverage too, they've got Daniels in a position where he's well contained. He's not going to get in that corner to be able to turn it north-south.
Loss of a yard, second and 11. Nice cutback. And a first down. Again, Kamar Jordan, outstanding first half, and Jordan comes up limping. The Ottawa Red Blacks, Taylor Reid, the former Stamp, also on a knee on the field.
Well, I like the move by Kamar Jordan here to get off the spot when he catches the ball. Feels the defenders converging on him. He doesn't just spin, he takes that one escape step before he ducks his shoulder and gets it upfield right there. That allows him to pick up a couple of extra yards and beat those first two defenders.
Reid looked like he got a bit of a stinger here. Just hit him awkwardly. Went down, writhing in pain, so Taylor Reid trying to get some updates from Matthew Shinetti on the sideline tonight. Week 1 of the CFL season. Just seems like yesterday these two teams met in Toronto. Beautiful Sunday night, November. The Grey Cup Classic, first ever Grey Cup game that went to overtime.
On the adjustment here defensively, we'll see Leo Bass move into the middle. Sir Darius Bryant comes in. Give Bass a spot out to the weak side.
High snap. Messam. Motors left side. Straight arm. And Jerome Messam's best rumble of the night. Almost an 8-yard pickup for the big man. Last year's Canadian of the Year, a two-time most outstanding Canadian in the CFL, the native of Brampton, Ontario.
And not bad for a guy who went undrafted in 2008. This is where Jerome Messam is at his best. You're kind of prepared for him when he's coming straight up between the tackles. But he gets to the outside, gives you a little bit of speed. A lot of times defenders aren't prepared for how fast Jerome Messam is at 250 pounds.
Messam stays into block. Bow goes deep. And unable to catch up is Jordan. Long bomb from Bo Levi Mitchell, so it's third down and almost 2 yards. And they're going to bring Maver out to punt. Would be about a 55-yard field goal, but Maver instead in this battle of field position tonight.
Jerome Messam came off looking a little frustrated, as you notice. I mean, just needed 2 yards, an opportunity to move the chains and live to fight for another series.
A lot of people might point to that last year too, when they could have gone to Messam. Deontay Helicopters near the 25-yard line. 11-11 game in the Grey Cup rematch to start the 2017 season.
I'm pleased to say that once again the BT job swap scheme has been a huge success.
Ottawa, Trevor Harris, Bo Levi Mitchell at the helms tonight. Let's go down to John Climbing.
No, I think the people might be surprised at Bo Levi Mitchell going deep there on 2nd and 2, but that's his willingness to push the ball down the field and be aggressive, I think, is the reason why they have got their way back into the football game. Trevor Harris has not thrown a ball and completed it more than 10 to 12 yards down the football field. He's got to start pushing the ball down the field and be more aggressive if they want to be successful here in the second half.
Little lob toss, tiptoeing the sidelines is Ellingson. That's kind of been Trevor Harris's MO since he really broke in, and people keep talking about this being his real first start. He has been a starter before in Toronto under Ricky Ray, and then of course last year he was given the keys at one point here in Ottawa.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Harris has had extended stints as a starting quarterback each of the last 2 seasons. He's absolutely ready for this, but just in reference to the desire to push it.
Brandon Galanders. Big game.
You know, in reference to the desire to see him push it down the field, people get caught up a lot of the time in looking at, for example, Chris Williams' yardage totals last season and think that this was a big play, long bomb team. The fact is, a lot of Chris Williams' yards came after the catch last season. They're hitting him on hooks, hitting him on hitches, and letting him use his wheels to just plain outrun angles on people.
Trevor Harris, Waldo, Ohio native, 31-year-old, played in Edinburgh U in Pennsylvania. Player down, will step aside and come back to the nation's capital on this Friday night on TSN.
Don't you want me? Don't you want me? Don't you want me?
Dulux Easy Care with stain repellent technology. Take the stress out of spills. Checking out the options? Cummy. What do you reckon?
First goal scorer? Correct score? With Ladbrokes, there are loads of options. Right now, you should make the most of this great offer. Join Ladbrokes and get 4 free £5 bets when you have a £5 bet today. Nice work, fella. Respect. Unbelievable.
We ask Canadians to tell us their story in one day. These are the portraits of the people who lived that day. Canada in a day. An extraordinary television event, Sunday at 8, 7 Central on CTV. Back in Canada's capital tonight. Just over a week away from celebrating the 150th birthday of this great nation. Red Blacks on the move, 1st and 10. Harris now, airs it out. But miscommunication on the route here. Deontay Spencer as Harris threw that up, and here's what the Red Blacks are missing this year, an E-Jack and C-Dub.
Yeah, huge numbers they've put up over the last 2 years, part of that quartet of Ottawa receivers who all had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Jackson, of course, the East Division nominee as most outstanding player a year ago. They expect big things of Deontay Spencer.
Looked like the Stamps jump might be a free one here for Harris. Decides to go. No, he doesn't. Foot race now. Trevor Harris cuts up, side, and then cuts back. Fumbled football. Stamps have it. Whistle blows. But it looked like Calgary moved the line. Where they draw him, that's the question. So it all depends on this penalty, but Trevor Harris did a good job scurrying outside. It looks like he's holding that foot right now.
He may be cramping up the way he initially grabbed that foot. Trying to pull it back and stretch out his calf.
Harris now trying to get to his feet. There is one of the backup quarterbacks, Ryan Lindley out of San Diego State. Drew Tate, of course, the former Stampeder, is now with the Red Blacks as a backup to Harris. Let's see what happened here.
Looked like Charleston Hughes got that out of Harris's hand before he was down with that swat. Watch the right hand to Charleston Hughes, number 39.
Ruling on the field is a change of possession recovered by Calgary. We have offside, Calgary number 39. The command center is reviewing the previous play.
So the offside obviously takes precedence here. Should be second down and 5 yards. Let's see what happens with the command center.
Right on that line of scrimmage, just a jump at the top of the line from Charleston Hughes.
Couple of jumps there. Again, command center reviews any change of possession.
As far as the end of the play, the ball was clearly out, which is what they ruled. But again, the offside was also pretty clear
The ruling
too.
on the field's been confirmed. We had a change of possession. So we are applying a 5-yard penalty, second down,
So
Ottawa.
it will be second down. 5 yards to go here.
Just for clarification, the debate had to do with where the ball ultimately would be spotted.
Trevor Harris is all right. Second and 5. Harris, another quick hitter. Well, bumping Ellingson wanted to call. Felt he was interfered with. Will Rick Campbell throw the challenge flag? He does. And Ellingson with a signal. You cannot use that motion, the flag motion, like dropping a flag. That would elicit another flag, so they have their own signals worked out.
Ottawa is challenging the previous play that there was pass interference against their number 82. We'll review the play.
And it appears in trying to jump the route, Evans gets in that path. Ellingson trying to come underneath. The contact came before the ball.
Command has it. We'll have the verdict when we come back in this 11-11 game in Ottawa.
You should take a moment. This is what life looks like. People love each other.
This is our time.
Mayday! Mayday! This is Eagle One. We have a problem.
Don't panic. I'll see what the internet says. Money back as a free bet if your horse loses. Available on the first race every day of Royal Ascot. Yes, let's have a piece of the action.
We're breaking up!
I tell you what, I rate our chances.
For the love of the game, Betway.com. It's fast, it's thrilling, it's rewarding. Try out Real Thrill, the new exciting slot tournaments that kick off every 15 minutes. Climb the Real Thrill leaderboard to challenge for free spin prizes
After review, we have pass interference. Calgary, number 0. It's a 10-yard penalty, an automatic first down. Ottawa.
Rick Campbell has his first challenge flag victory. 2017. Not take command very long for a decision. So it's 1st and 10 now, Red Blacks. 5 minutes gone here, third quarter. Both teams opening nights in the new season. 38. Up the middle. Once again goes Galanders, who's getting a few looks. Remember Keenan LaFrance last year, who's no longer with the Ottawa Red Blacks. They used him from time to time, and they're using Galanders for a few touches here tonight.
Peers, remember we saw William Powell limp out earlier, and it was those injuries at running back that provided the opportunity for Keenan LaFrance. Ottawa could afford to let him go in free agency to Saskatchewan because of the Landers.
Greg Ellingson. See where they mark this. Will be about a yard shy of the first down, and they get to the score zone here into the red zone, a 9-yard pickup. So, can you believe it? Game 1 and the injury bug seems to be creeping up on the running back position again for the Ottawa Red Blacks, because there's no doubt William Powell would be in this game.
A guy who played a big role in the first half of this ball game prior.
Ryan Lindley, short yardage situation.
Procedure, Ottawa, number 56. It's a 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Second down, likely a throwing down here. Receivers come back in. Looks like we have an injured Stampeder on the play. On one knee down near the 12-yard line. Training staff is out on the field. That is Ryan Hall. Former Hamilton Tiger Cat. Played with the Argos last year. He has to go to the sideline. One of the most colorful guys in the game. Out of the game now for 3 plays. 9th play of the drive upcoming. Again, because of the procedure, back to the 20-yard line. Harris, the sideline. That was almost picked by Patrick Levels, jumping the route. For Josh Stangby. So after all of this, Brett Maher will come out, trying to give the Red Blacks the lead.
Levels did a nice job, I thought, on that play, sitting at depth, anticipating that there might be some sort of pump and go or hook and go type route. When he saw the receiver settle, he didn't break right away until the quarterback committed to throwing it.
From the 27, Brett Maher. Perfect night so far. 3-point Red-Black lead in the third quarter in Ottawa.
I think a lot of guys, obviously the first time you watch it is tough, just because you see, you put a lot of work in entire off season, entire year, a very long grind in CFL, as you know, and to get to that point and let it go, it's hard on everybody. If people ask, hey, if you win the next one, does that one go away? No, not at all. We can win the next 3. And that's always going to be, that moment that we were very close and could have had another one. So it's something that I think we'll all remember for the rest of our lives, using motivation. Everybody uses it differently, but for me, it's just that motivation, never let it happen again.
Trying to erase the memories. Mitchell and the Stampeders won in 2014, but after a magical season last year, where everyone expected them to clean up, they did not. target, of course. You've won a couple of rings, Dwayne. Losses are always first and foremost, it seems sometimes, in memory, but should the Stampeders be able to come back, bounce back this year and win that, I think that would go a long way to erasing last year.
I'm with Bo, though. You never erase it.
Yeah.
Because you come back and maybe for him you win a second one, but then you're saying to yourself, I should have had three.
You know, you look at that game and the way it played out, what could have happened, and everybody's obviously talking hindsight, the Buckley play and why Jerome Messam might not have got the ball. Remember the Seattle Seahawks and what happened to them in the NFL, what could have been, which seemed logical at the time. They still had a chance to win overtime. Messam with a flag down and a convoy. Funny thing is, all of the featured performers, the Burris, Jackson, Kane, all the things that happened in that game for Ottawa, all of those main actors aren't around anymore.
Yeah, a lot of change as we see the pivotal moments. Messam stopped short on the first run, then the Kane tackle.
It's decline. First down.
You know, and I'll go on the record, by the way, and I agreed with the call to go with Buckley on the last one. I mean, the people second guessing it, it's hindsight. But when everybody in the stadium is saying, and everybody watching on TV thinks Messam going to get the ball, what do you think they're going to be keying on?
Well, he's such a force, and I'm sure that will stay with Andrew Buckley for a while. Here's a guy who scored 8 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, well, again, it's not like that's a play that they just made up on the spot and pulled out of a hat. That was a play in short yardage they had a great deal of success with during the year. He didn't score those 8 touchdowns by accident. Ottawa had a good scheme. They had one guy free. Shoot it and play the quarterback, and Abdul Kane made the play. It was a shoestring tackle.
Mitchell down the sideline for Daniels. He has it. And out of bounds. Otherwise, Tavares Daniel was in for the touchdown. And the officials are saying his foot may have touched the line, and they're bringing this back. In fact, no catch. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that right foot.
Good call.
First foot to touchdown is on the line. Official perfectly positioned on that sideline.
And he did not have control after that as well. Foot that touches down. So it will force third down, and once again, Rob Maver.
Calgary is challenging the previous play of an incomplete pass. We'll review the play.
And Dickinson's already lost a timeout challenge here tonight. Dickinson feeling that he may have had possession.
Yeah, you
with that
watch
trailing
the timing.
foot.
When he catches it, left foot's down, he's got it. Then the right foot goes out. So he's got it with the left foot in.
Does he have the football? This is a quick decision.
The ruling on the field is overturned. We have a completed pass.
Wow.
The ball will be placed at the 13-yard line. First down, Calgary.
So a good challenge by Dickinson and the Stampeders.
Watch, he's got it. Left foot's in. He's got it there. The left foot's on the ground. Again, at full speed, it's a split-second thing, but he catches it cleanly. I think with the left foot on the ground. Left foot inbounds.
So a great challenge for the Stampeders. The 13. Mitchell with time. Looking in zone. Mark Jordan already has a touchdown tonight. Can't catch up with that. A lot of steamboats that time for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, they need this to develop because it's a throwback type play. They're trying to get all the flow going this way and then try and throw the ball back to the other side. All the flow, blocking sleeve slides right, and then you get two receivers coming from that front side all the way over. Just unable to connect.
Durant and Daniels are the wide outs. Mitchell goes over the middle. In and out at the goal line for Jordan once more. So it's going to be 3rd and 10. Rene Paredes is coming out, trying to tie this game up. At it.
Yeah, initially I thought he went down to try and kind of baby this catch, but I think that Jordan actually lost his footing, trying to take a half step back outside to get to it.
So Buckley with the hold. Paredes with the tie. 14 apiece with 5 minutes and 6 seconds left in the third quarter, and back and forth, punch, counter, punch. Let's get an injury update. Let's go down to the sideline once again. Here's Matthew.
Well, Ron, let's start with Trevor Harris. After that last series, he came off, and the medical staff looked immediately at both his calves. He went on the table, and they were massaging them quite vigorously. Then he got off, and while he was talking to coordinator Jamie Elizondo, kept still looking at his calves, still stretching them out. Kenny Shaw, who limped after a series in the first half, has his casual shoes on, so it's pretty a good indicator that he's not going to be back. And William Powell is still holding his helmet on the sidelines, but is noticeably limping. Guys?
William Powell had an outstanding first half. Brendan Galanders is the guy in the backfield right now. Quick hitter to Ellingson. Gets a block and a straight arm. Penalty flag down. Like a face mask on the play.
Major foul. Calgary, face mask. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Joe Burnett, hand on the grill.
Got caught a little bit inside on the block. His desperation. That's all he can grab.
Penalties piling up here. Is this a catch? They're saying it is by Stangby. Laying out at the 50. Josh Stangby, his first CFL game.
Well, so much was said during the offseason with the departure of Chris Williams and Ernest Jackson. A lot of the talk was about the new guys that came in. Deontay Spencer and Kenny Shaw from Toronto, but overlooked, I think, were these second-year guys, Stangby and Jerron Kreiner, who was so good down the stretch last year. Kind of the wild cards in this receiving corps.
Far side. Ellingson joins the party, as he always does. Talked to him yesterday. He is a guy that is swaggerless. Greg Ellingson, unless he gets a game-winning touchdown, which we saw a few years ago, but he just walks the walk, does he not?
Well, just such a level-headed, even keel kind of guy, and it shows in his play. He's such a consistent contributor within this offense.
Landers again. Greg Ellingson, who's had so many great moments. Member of the Ottawa Red Blacks, the miracle on Bank Street, of course. Back in the 2015 playoffs that got the Red Blacks to the Grey Cup game, and then so reliable last year. And again, part of the Fab Four 1,000-yard receivers here in Ottawa. 3.5 to go, third quarter. Player was offside there. The Red Blacks may have jumped Patrick Lavoie. Looked like the receivers were almost into the Calgary backfield.
Watch on the right side of the formation.
Yeah.
26. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Ron Kreiner, head start. 2nd and 13. Big drop for Harris. Patrick Lavoie with a first down and a couple more.
A nicely executed screen there by the Ottawa Red Blacks. See that separation between levels. John Gahn does a nice job. Doesn't get a great block on the middle linebacker, Singleton, but occupies him enough that he can't make a play.
There goes Galanders. Touchdown. Big hit. First down. In the new rule, that was left vacant by Keenan LaFrance. Welcome, Brandon Galanders.
Nice job by Galanders, this hometown guy who's a terrific running back at the University of Ottawa. Coming in relief of William Powell, 4 carries, 47 yards.
There he goes again, getting a chance, Galanders is. Guy who played with Brad Sinopoli and the Ottawa GGs. Hometown guy, as you mentioned. Former Toronto Argo. Just getting a chance, and we saw what Keenan LaFrance could do last year when he got a chance. He helped get the Red Blacks to the Grey Cup game.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't become that big a deal anymore when a Canadian running back finds success in the CFL.
Harris, touchdown! Ron Kreiner has his first of 2017. And his second all-time as a Red Black on a quick strike from Trevor Harris.
This is a play, again, that's got to make the Ottawa coaching staff get a little bit excited. Ron Kreiner is a guy who played mostly on the outside last year. He found his way into the lineup after Chris Williams got hurt, and they were very high on him. I talked to their receivers coach, Travis Moore, about Ron Kreiner throughout the season. They thought he'd be an outstanding player. He's getting an opportunity now to play in the slot with the departure of Ernest Jackson. Big body, big reach, catch radius, and so on. He's a physical guy, and he's well suited to playing in there. You saw the slant route when you've got this kind of guy on the inside. Provides a big target, completely shielding the defender from the ball. A subtle thing, but good body control, as that one was thrown a little bit behind him, but he's able to throttle down a little bit. Make it a soft catch.
Very similar style to the departed Ernest Jackson. Guy who was money in the red zone, as the Red Blacks, of course, know from the Grey Cup game. The game-winning touchdown from Henry Burris. Trevor Harris, a couple of touchdown passes here tonight. 7-point game with a minute to go. That was a clock-eating drive, big drive from the Ottawa Red Blacks.
10 plays, 75 yards, took almost 4 minutes off the clock.
Roy Finch brought down near the 38-yard line. Let's go down to Jock Climbing. Jocko.
What an intriguing decision that Dave Dickinson had in that last drive. He could have had the Ottawa Red Blacks at 3rd and 7 and looking at a 47-yarder into the wind. Instead, he accepted a penalty, puts them back, and gave them 2nd and 12. Ottawa converts and goes in and scores. That decision might well cost the Stamps this game.
See how it all plays out here. Again, as we said before, though, these two teams notoriously play close football here in TD Place. Last two games here between these two teams, both have gone to overtime. McDaniel, Claiborne targets him. Up about 4 yards on the play.
Well, one of the things that stood out to me in this game a little bit has to do with Ottawa taking a page from Calgary's book. You know, and I consulted with resident stats freak Derek Taylor. As you know, I was in the booth with PT last week. One of the stats he pointed out for this game is Calgary has been the best team in the league last year in terms of limiting yards after contact on runs and after catches on the pass.
There's Mitchell. Has his man. What a play by Claiborne.
Great recovery by
There was separation there. That looked like it was going to be a big, big gainer.
Well, this is what you call closing on the ball, taking that time in the air to close the gap.
Boris Daniels can't come up with it. Emone Claiborne on the final play of the third quarter. The Red Blacks have the lead by 7 as we head to the fourth. Opening night for both the Stamps and the defending champs. Right now, champions have the advantage. Fourth quarter, straight ahead. Friday night football continues.